Well, good morning. It's nice to see you today. And today I wanted to share a strategy that has helped me and many others I know to not only take a look at their goal, but to be more apt to accomplish your goal. So a lot of you heard the statistic recently that only 25% of people are actually still committed to these are New Year's resolutions typically, still committed to their New Year's resolutions after day 30, and that only 8% of people actually accomplish those. So we're already ahead of the curve because many of us turned our vague resolutions into goals with action steps. So that's step number one. Great job. The other thing that is very, very helpful is something that many people I know do. Some are wanting to do, and some may start after today, but that's simply called planning your day before the day begins. A lot of us heard this from a gentleman named David Bird, who's very successful at helping leaders become top leaders in accomplishing their goals and having growth. But this really translates into anything such as health and wellness, personal development, or business goals. So the whole trick with planning your day before today begins is that not only are you articulating it, but the idea is to articulate it in written form, and preferably not electronically, but manually writing, because there's something about manually writing that brings clarity. And we've all heard that clarity provides focus, and when we're focused on something, we're more apt to achieve it. So I have tried two planners in my life. I know there's many out there, and one was actually by David Bird. This is called the Achievement Planner. Very comprehensive. It's got index section, notes, a calendar section for a month at a glance. It has a goal sheet, life balance analysis, tracking. So this is really excellent tool. And look, it even comes with a bookmark that says, always plan tomorrow before tomorrow begins. I don't know if that's backwards or not. I also have tried another planner that it's a little simpler, but it's also helpful. This is called the Progress Planner. And it's blank, so you can fill in the month no matter when you get it. And you get a month at a glance. It has some fun quotes. So I just filled in January and February already. And you can write down appointments that you know are going to happen or recurring items. But also, after the at-a-glance calendar, I don't know why I'm showing you February, but you will get a page that has each day broken down from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Not that you all stop working after 7 p.m., and you can really get pretty granular in writing down action steps, both things that you have to do, things that you want to do, and things that will help you accomplish your goal. And then at the very end, each week, it'll have the week in review. So it'll says what made this week great, what's summary, any notes, and then the week ahead. So this is another fun tool. A lot of you have different planners, but anyway, so David says the best way to plan our day before the day begins is to plan it in writing, because we get, like I said, very granular in those steps of how we're going to reach our goals. So that is really the key. And what happens is it can also help us start to overcome some ineffective daily habits we may have going on. I'm going to give an example. Last year, one of my goals was weight loss. It's always a goal, but it was a greater goal. And I had heard a lot about intermittent fasting, and I really wanted to try that. What I realized, and what that usually requires, is eating during a period of time. I'll give the 16-14 rule. You fast 16 hours and eat during an 8-hour period. So let's say you finish eating at 8 at night, you would have your next meal at 12 the next day. What I realized is I am someone that while I'm working or reading a book or watching TV, I like to snack. I like to have things in my hands. And so sometimes that would be nuts, sometimes cheese, sometimes a glass of wine. I thought, well, that's not going to work. So one of the suggestions David had is we displace an old habit that's not serving us by a new productive one. So I thought, okay, recognizing that's a desire for me, I started to replace, say, the glass of wine with herbal tea. or seltzer water. And I realized it was just the act of sipping on something. That and it also, I made a decision. I'm done putting food in my mouth at this time. That was the only thing that's ever worked for me, but I had to do it daily, and I had to plan ahead to make a decision when I was going to stop eating. So that's just an example of being aware, and being articulate in my goal and knowing I was going to stop doing that. So that can work for any habit you're trying to change. So we want to look at, why is it? So knowing we all have habits, why is it in that excitement of the new year, we're going to get that goal, why do so many people drop off? And it's because growth requires change. And our human instinct, our natural human instinct, our mind wants to protect us from change. It sometimes views things as harmful or danger. And so if we rely on instinct for our day-to-day activities, we will often revert back into what's most comfortable for us. For example, I'll give you another example. What I'll do is I'll write in my planner, you can vary, but it really keeps me on track. I'm going to exercise at 10 a.m. as an example. So I know that in my head. I know when I wake up, there's going to be days I don't feel like it, but somehow writing it down and articulating that helps me commit. And so the other fun thing about something like exercise in the morning is then not only are you feeling accomplished, you're invigorated, you're more apt to maybe go, what else is on my list, and start to accomplish that. So now if I didn't write it down and I thought, I'll see how I feel tomorrow, you can bet my natural human instinct is going to take over and say, you know what, it's gray, it's raining, I'm cold, I think I'm gonna go on the couch with a blanket and have a nice cup of coffee, and I'm gonna read. So and that's, it really does take some changing of habits in order to make these better decisions that will actually serve our goal. So when we look at writing it down and the things that we want to do, what we'll discover is, as our natural habits kind of seep in, the first thing's awareness, and then to say, okay, knowing that is something I think I would rather do. One, does it serve me? And two, how can I displace my inclination to do that with something else? So they even said that when you displace each of your habits that are not serving you, that it can only take a few short weeks for you to actually see those changes come to fruition. We don't always see our accomplishments right away. They happen in very small increments. And so if you run on instinct, an instinct might be, it's not working anyway, I might as well do what, we're not always articulating this, but our natural instinct takes over and says, you're better off doing this thing that feels familiar. So I think by now you have your goal, you have a tracking system. If you don't have some way, you can do it in a notebook, but some way to plan out your day and include those habits that you know will serve you, you are more likely to accomplish the goal you set out. So remember, choice, as humans, we have choice. It's a double-edged sword. It can either be a choice to do what feels comfortable, or a choice that is going to require change and growth and eventual accomplishment. So hope that helps you, and we'll be talking more about things that can help you sustain and accomplish your goals.